Please stay the night. To be as beautiful, and you are beautiful. You are beautiful. You are beautiful. Come on in. The ministry's just opening up stores. Sing the summer day. Sing the one I love. Sing with me tonight. Come on in. Just getting the doors propped open. Pick a pew anywhere. You all got an avatar in case you want to change it on out. Sure, the controls for the avatars will come up anytime now. Beautiful, you are beautiful. You are beautiful. You are. It's true, you are. And if you're joining now, you know that's real. Come on in. You're listening to the sounds of Milk, a band for the early 90s, from the album Chronology. I'm going to play one more tune for them. How about actually, this is a little slow, right? We're just waiting for people to come in anyways. Ooh, yeah. This is called Recklessly Dreaming of Dreams. And I think it reminds me of the beauty of the world and everything we have in our experiences. Hello and welcome. Come on in. Grab a pew anywhere. Kick off your shoes. Make yourself at home. You know, it's Sunday, and here at the Ministry of the Flying Pig, we have only one thing to worship. That it's each other. The happiness and the joy that comes from us. And all those things that are possible when we find ourselves inside. It's time to let it out. You're frickin' beautiful. Every winter I forget I make mistakes. Uncover my heart and leave it in an exile place. It's a constant fight I won't deny. I stand my faith on gentle faces. Never find the meaning in the reckless dreaming of dreams. There's nothing wrong with dreaming of dreams, especially when the world around us is built on the beauty and belief that each one of us is our own special soul, is our own special talent, is our own special meaning. Every one of us knows this, and it's whether or not we grab on to our own inner trust of beauty that makes the difference. And that's why we here at the Dadaist Ministry of the Flying Pig wish you nothing but love in exploring your beauty. And I welcome you in. We don't worship like most churches and ideas and ministries, ideologies, or religious beliefs. No, we're here to worship life. Just to kick off our shoes, look at each other and go, you know what? Shit's pretty good. Go ahead and clean the house. Go ahead and smoke a bowl or have a drink or have some coffee or tea or drink some lemonade on the porch. Dreaming of dreams. Because this is what happens when we find our beauty. It's the management of that dreaming of dreams. Reckless, reckless heart. And while you're doing that, today before we start, as usual, the message is very clear, my friends. The message is that you can release the inner you. That you have a flying magical pig inside of you. Each and every one of us. And that's why we join here. On Sundays when we, got something or nothing to do. Either way, we're gathering because it's something fun. Because we don't have to worry about things. We could just hang on out, play with an avatar. And consider each other lucky for being sentient. And along those lines, a quick reminder.
Cosmocast live 24 hours a day with, of course, local access periodically. Programming you're about to see will actually accelerate your evolution. 10 lifetimes per viewing.
Aha! I guess you all know that every one of you is watching a different show, and to provide better programming, we are watching you.
It takes us a long time, many of us longer than others, to come up out of the darkness of our feelings of unworthiness, of unlovableness, of allowing that liquidity to happen, of feeling safe to be in the presence of love. When I first experienced my guru loving me, my mind kept flickering with the thoughts of, if he only knew. And then I realized that he did know. And he was still loving me. And it took me through the ... And whatever you are, however you are at this moment, when you can accept that you are lovable, then the fear starts to dissolve. It's allowing your own beauty. It's allowing the beauty of your soul.
Sure is.
Which is behind your personality. It's behind all that stuff.
It's allowing your beauty behind your soul.
Bit of light.
That's the voice of Ramdas, Baba Ramdas.
And I think at this moment, nothing violent to do. You just observe the kind of sadness, the feeling of loneliness, the feeling of separateness, the feeling of pain. You just watch it and allow it. And don't get too fierce about it, or don't feel too deprived about it, and don't milk the self-pity of it. Just notice that it's just a passing show. It's just another place your mind is grabbing. It's all mind. You realize.
It's all mind. You realize that.
Every direction of the approach of the loud bird machine.
Your seats. If you're not going to laugh for me, you're not going to laugh for me, laugh for little Johnny. Little Johnny was in the hospital tonight and can't laugh because he has no lips. No, I'm teasing. I'm full of...
Brewing, the grotesque and lumpy appendages are often torn away, left hanging, needle-like caps, baked in the desert sun like so much decaying life.
If none of this makes sense to you,
Really?
it may already be too late. Too late. May already be make sense to you. None of this too late. Cosmicast live 24 hours a day with, of course, local access periodically. Programming you're about to see will actually accelerate your evolution 10 lifetimes per viewing.
Aha! I guess you all know that every one of you is watching a different show, and to provide better programming, we are watching you. Watch.
That the only thing you're stuck in is not even history, it's just mind. It's a model you have of who you think you are and who you think everybody else is. That's all it is. That's exactly what's causing your suffering at this moment, is your own thought forms. And you're clinging to them and saying, this is real. It's like somebody who sees a rope and they think it's a snake and they get frightened, and then somebody says it's just a rope, and then suddenly they're not frightened anymore.
Are you afraid of the snake you think is a rope?
It really is.
Are you
mind.
afraid of the rope
and
you
that's
think is a
finally
snake?
why you're driven to work on your mind.
Are you afraid?
To quiet your mind.
You don't have to be.
Because you see the way your personality is really
Quiet the mind
just a
is what
series of thoughts
Rhonda says.
that you keep investing. Like the first moment you felt the sadness or the loneliness or the emptiness or the pain, that started a whole track of, oh, this is like I've always felt in the past, and you started to build the whole storyline all over again. And it's at that moment, it's just, sadness. Oh, yes. Comes and goes. Because I would say that most people in this room, if you scratch the surface, you will find some residual unworthiness. From just having grown up on Earth. I mean, it's interesting because you don't understand that the personality itself is rooted in fear and vulnerability. That's where the root is of it.
True. You've just seen, and try not to remember everything coming up. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm happy to announce that we are now broadcasting at your own personal level. Aha!
All over the world, that this phenomenon cannot be explained. They say, think about it. Well, maybe we should.
And in one reporter's opinion, I frankly am.
Think about it.
Think about what?
Mind control. Think about it. This is not mind control. Shocking? Indeed. We scientists call it polyscopic hypnovation, or a state of accelerated, unexpected events taking place in a perpetually delirious assault on the accepted and the unexpected.
Because you go from you imagine being the baby of everything in the universe, to starting to be this little vulnerable tiny thing. And the first time you realize there are big forces and you're not them. How incredibly inadequate one must feel if you could give words to it. And every one of us has been through that moment. And for most of us, it's buried so deeply, we can never get hold of it.
But I'm going to challenge you to grab hold of that in yourself. To grab hold of it because you, my friends, are beautiful. And welcome on in. I'm aronmsound, your resident Dadaist minister of the Flying Pig, here at the Ministry of the Flying Pig. And I'm so glad you could join us. There are no tithes other than to have a good time. There's nothing but kicking off your shoes and, well, getting into the vibe. And I'm here to celebrate you, as we're here to celebrate each other. And today's theme is that you are beautiful. And I think that it is not said enough. And I've done a number of shows on this, but I think it's important that we come back to it time and time again because it's so easy to forget how awesome each and every one of us is. Now, this is not some extensive stream. This is, you catch it while you catch it. Those long ones are for Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I'm not here to talk about drama. I'm not here to talk about UFOs. I'm not here to talk about news. I'm here to talk about life, beauty, you, me, us, we. That's what the ministry here is about on Sundays. I kick off my shoes, and well, I get relaxed. So here, let me pick out the robe for today, because you know, as a minister, you gotta have your robes, of course. So let me just express myself openly. Yeah, make myself a little more vulnerable, you know, because that's kind of key.
You got to let yourself be vulnerable, most importantly. Because to be beautiful, to stay beautiful, to see yourself as beautiful, well, it's not something that just happens on its own. It's something you have to work on, right? And I don't mean you have to chisel your face. I don't mean you have to change your body. And if anything, in most cases, I believe that people, rather, like Ram Dass said, could adjust their mind and their being and their viewpoint. Little party robe. That's love. That's love right there. All right, let's get into it, because we've got a lot of neat little segments to share today about how awesomely beautiful all of you are. Let me turn it down a little bit so I'm not screaming at you. And welcome on in. I hope your Sunday's going really well. Today, once again, we're talking about how awesomely beautiful each and every one of you is. And I don't want you to take that lightly at all. I want you to understand that when I mean beauty, I don't mean at face value, I don't mean the eye of the beholder, I don't mean, physical beauty, although that can apply as well, but I do mean the inner light that gives you, each and every one of you, the magic, the effervescence, the spice that is living on planet Earth. This tiny little speck that we should all have so much respect for, frankly, because in this randomness, we are incredibly lucky little who's in Whoville, off in the corner of the galaxy, protected. Hi, Flezzy Bee, come on in. So glad to see you. Welcome to the Ministry of the Flying Pig. We're talking about how beautiful you are. And by the way, Flezzy Bee, if nobody's told you so far today, you are beautiful. And come on in. Oh, you've got a little, you got some kind of thing down there. That's your avatar. Feel free to change it once the controls for stream elements, the stream avatars comes up. I think it's actually, hold on a second. If you feel like changing it at any time, or using the controls, I think this is it. I believe it is. Not really sure. In any case, it does tend to come around every once in a while. We're covering how beautiful people are. We just heard the words of Ram Dass. And now, I'm going to go back to, what it is that people... Thank you so much, Flezzy Bee. I believe it's important that we remind each other and remind others, when they seem to need it, that, in fact, they are awesome. And you can see the difference in people's lives when you give them just a little bit of love. But before I get to that, actually, I want to talk about how to be kind to yourself. And the School of Life always has something very good for this, I find.
Without being flattering, good friends also constantly trying to be a better friend to yourself. Sounds like an odd idea.
Trying to be a better friend to yourself.
Because we naturally imagine a friend as someone else, not as a part of our own mind. But there is value in the concept because of the extent to which we know how to treat our own friends with a sympathy and imagination we seldom apply to ourselves. If a friend is in trouble, our first instinct is rarely to tell them that they are fundamentally a shithead and a failure. If a friend complains that their partner isn't very warm to them, we don't tell them they're getting what they deserve. We try to reassure them that they're essentially likable and that it's worth investigating what might be done.
It's true.
In friendship, we know instinctively how to deploy strategies of wisdom and consolation that we stubbornly refuse to apply to ourselves.
Well, it's because it's harder to apply to ourselves.
Would typically make.
Let's be honest about it. The mirror is hard to hold up to ourselves, and it's easy to extol onto others. It's like sugar in coffee. You know, it's always easier to serve others than to serve ourselves, essentially. It's easier to choose for others what they might want, giving from ourselves. What's happening, Jelly, with the Anna Buddha earrings? Come on in. Welcome to the stream. And just a reminder, today's theme is You Are Beautiful, and it's true. You are, Jelly. You are beautiful. And thank you for being here. And we're just going over how to be a friend to yourself, which I think is an art often lost on a lot of people. It's lost on the idea that that's how you have to start loving yourself and seeing yourself as beautiful innately, not physically, but innately. And once you start transcending that, I believe, in one's spirit, in one's self, in one's true self, in the id, looking at one as self, and seeing oneself as truly beautiful, because you're trying to do well, because you're trying to live life, and you're enjoying life, and you're here, and you're being kind. Well, first it takes the friendship with yourself, I believe.
Which can provide a model for what we should, ideally, be doing with ourselves in our own heads. Firstly, a good friend likes you pretty much as you already are. Any suggestion they make or ambition they have about how you could change builds on a background of acceptance.
True.
When they propose that you might try a different tack, it's not an
People who
ultimatum
love you for you.
They're not saying
not
you
who they
have
want
to
you to
change
be.
or be abandoned.
True.
A friend insists we're good enough.
I just agreed with
already,
myself.
but
Yes,
they want to join
indeed.
forces with us to solve a challenge they feel we would properly benefit from overcoming. Without being flattering, good friends also constantly keep in mind certain things we're getting right. They don't think anything wrong with the odd compliment and emphasis on our strengths. It's quietly galling how easily
School
we
of
can
Life,
recite
my
all
jam
our
as
own
well.
good points when troubles strike. The friend doesn't fall into this
I
trap.
got to do a number
They can
of
acknowledge the
productions with them
difficulties while still
at a
holding
theater I
on to
worked
a
at.
memory of our virtues.
It's pretty
The good
amazing what they
friend
do.
is compassionate.
I have a
When
bunch
we
of their,
fail, as we will,
flashcards
they are
and stuff, too.
understanding and generous around our mishaps. Our folly doesn't exclude them from the circle of their love. The good friend deftly conveys that to err, fail, and screw up is just what we humans do.
It is.
We all emerge from
We are
childhood
fallible.
with various biases in our character, which evolve to help us cope with our necessarily imperfect parents. And these acquired habits of mind will reliably
wow.
let us down in adult life.
Fuzzy Bee's a
But we're
full-on
not to be blamed
T-Rex.
because
Go
we didn't
on, Fuzzy
deliberately set
Bee.
out to be like this. We didn't realistically have a lot of
I
better
love it.
options. We're indelibly required to make big
By
decisions
the way,
before
your
we ever
T-Rex
really understand
can hug
what's at
people with the
stake
controls.
or how our choices will
It can
play
also
out.
dance, jump,
We're steering blind
and play
in all
slot
our large
machines.
moves around
True.
love and work. We opt for a move to a different city, but we can't possibly know whether we're going to flourish there. We have to select a career path when we're still young, and we don't know what our later needs will be. In long-term relationships, we have to make a commitment to another person before we understand what it
There's
will
a
be
lot
like
of
to tie our
complex
lives so deeply to theirs.
affectations within our
The good
systems of
friend
finding
knows
ourselves
that
beautiful,
failures
being
are
kind to
not,
ourselves
in
and
fact,
others.
rare. They bring as a starting point their own and humanity's vivid experience of messing up into play as key points of reference. They're continually telling us that our specific case might be unique, but that the general structure is common. People don't just sometimes fail. Everyone fails.
Everyone
Only we
fails.
don't know about it. It's ironic,
Multiple
yet essentially
times.
hopeful.
You have
that
to get
we
back
usually
up
know
after you
quite
skin your
well
knees. It's
how
just
to be a better
necessary,
friend
even to
mere
find that you are
strangers
beautiful.
than we know how to
'Cause
be
sometimes you
to
might forget.
ourselves. The hopefulness
easy to forget
lies in the
how
fact
beautiful
that
you
we
are.
do actually already possess the relevant skills of friendship. It's just we haven't as yet directed them to the person who probably needs them most. Namely, of course, ourselves.
Ourselves, always. Paying attention to ourselves and our own needs as well as others. That equal balance is something that creates health. That parity, sense of self as well as others. The knowledge that there is no extreme there. Oh yeah, you have a full tilt T-Rex. Yeah, and it's pink. That's actually some dope coloring for a T-Rex, by the way. Well done. Well done. And the controls come up when you go to streams avatars. You'll see the controls are in there. I think it's, I can't remember what it's called. Something. You know what I'm saying. So most of us don't spend a lot of time looking at ourselves in that fashion for beauty, but rather for our faults. And I found this wonderful little cartoon here that reminds us, in a very earnest way from our childhood, how we do need to remind ourselves from our inner child that we're lovely, that we can be lovely, that otherwise we'll fall into so much of our own bad habits, right? Or have a possibility of doing that.
I like being you, said the reflection in the mirror. To me, you are perfectly perfect.
And you are.
I blushed. Me? Yes, you.
Yeah,
and by
you.
the way, you have wonderful eyes. I blinked, astonished. I do? Absolutely.
Yeah,
They
D.
sparkle like stars on the
You hear me,
darkest
Fluzzby. You hear me, Jelly. Lita,
Ladies and
wherever you
gentlemen.
are playing games,
Thank you.
out there
Your
in the
eyes
video game.
sparkle
By the way, I
too.
think she's streaming right now.
Sweet of you to say.
Mm-hmm.
You have a marvelous voice. I gently
You do.
whispered. You really think so?
I do.
Of course. You sound as joyous as a songbird, whistling in the trees. And you have a magnificent smile. I sheepishly grinned. Well, Mama always says, start every day with a smile.
Absolutely.
I agree.
And when you're seeing yourself,
Your smile is as bright and cheerful as the sun in the sky. And you are quite smart. I took a step towards the mirror. I do try very hard. You sure do.
and it takes that
You're as
trying.
brilliant
It
as
takes
a
that effort.
rocket scientist. I like that you are friendly. I leaned in closer.
It takes the reminder.
It's very important to be nice, you know. It sure
It takes the
is.
kindness.
You're as peaceful as a butterfly.
It's not just
And you
empathy
have
for
a lot
others.
of courage. I raised my head high.
It's empathy
I
for
auditioned
ourselves
for this year's play
first.
today.
Because we can all
Outstanding. You're
make
as brave as a lion.
flawed
You're a
responses,
fantastic dancer.
trip over stupidity,
I spread my arms wide. Watch how fast I can
be
twirl.
unkind when we don't mean
Around and
to.
around I went. Amazing. You're as graceful as a dolphin, gliding through
But
the
we
sea.
can all have the
I
grace
plopped on
of
the
a
ground,
dolphin
giggling as the room playfully spun around.
if we give
And you
ourselves
have a terrific laugh.
that grace.
Thank you very much. Your chuckle fills the air with bubbly joy. But most of all, I like your heart.
And I
Your
like your
kindness
heart.
is as beautiful
You're
as a
here
rainbow.
right now sharing it.
I stood up and walked towards the mirror. To me, you are perfectly perfect.
And you are. You are the
gently
way
pressed
you
my
are
hands against
because
the
you
glass.
are beautiful.
I
And if
like
you missed
being
it, I'm
you.
going to play it one more time because I think that it's
We smiled in unison. I like being you too. I want to
I like
be
being
you
me.
forever.
And when I see me, I say that too, and I hope you say that to yourself as well. And with that, one more time, I'd like to remind you
Deep, so deep, I conjure the spell.
that if you don't feel like you're beautiful,
I am all I
this song
feel when
is
I
dedicated to
love
you.
so well. So cold, so your face like an angel. And all you have to be is beautiful. And you are beautiful.
You are. And if you didn't know, now you do. This is a song by the band Milk from the album Chronology. Well, I'm glad it makes you feel full. You being here makes me feel like I know that there are many other spirits and souls in the world who have the flying pig in them too, and who know that together we can make the world a better place, no matter what our background, belief, what we look like, what we believe. And we have faith in each other, more importantly than anything else, because we know we're beautiful.
It's beautiful. And you are beautiful. You are beautiful. You are beautiful. You are beautiful. You are.
And if anybody knows about beauty, if you're going to learn about beauty from anybody or seeing yourself as beautiful at all, let's take it from those people who've made it to as far as you're going to make it. Because every single one of them sees themselves as someone beautiful, knows themselves. Stacy May, good to see you. Welcome on in. If nobody's told you yet today, the theme here is you're beautiful, and you are. You're beautiful, Stacy May, and thank you for being here with us. It is the only face. It is the only face. We're hearing from people is that decagenarians, 100 years old ladies, about what they think beauty is of themselves and whether or not they think they're beautiful. You're welcome, Miss Stacey May. Welcome on in. Kick off your shoes. What we do here at the ministry on Sundays is just enjoy, because that's what the flying pig is all about. Love it. That's her hair. That's her hair. I love that. Mm-hmm. That's amazing. These things, they never go away. The way that we make ourselves feel good or feel beautiful, or to recognize that we have beauty in ourselves and in others. This is called Making Strangers Smile by Mustafa Hussein. And I suggest that it's something that we can do very easily for each other, to remind each other that, oh, make sure the, and I suggest that it's something that we can do very easily for each other, to remind each other. What happened there? That's weird. That's an OBS fail right there. Oh. What the heck? My apologies, folks. Let me, fix something here. Wow. That's weird. That's an OBS fail right there. I know why. Because you gotta press the right fader. Yeah, no, you're absolutely supposed to hear that. Hilarious. I turned down, there we go. Turned down the wrong fader, pulled up the wrong fader. Yeah, that happens. Especially, I need to label it something different. Clearly. Welcome to ministry. Yay. All right, so back to, what was I saying? Oh, it's easy enough to remind people that we care, even if you don't know them. Sometimes people need some love. Sometimes people need a little support. Sometimes They just need an uplift. And by the way, this comes around in energy. There is no energy that is lost in the universe. That's not the one. I'm sorry, I have large fingers. There we go. Is that it?
What's it like being so handsome?
What kind of question is that? Any other questions? Is that it?
What's it like being so handsome?
Oh, thank you.
Which is something, by the way,
compliment. I'm not.
Men don't receive compliments very often.
Aware of it, actually.
If you didn't know that.
What's it like being so handsome?
And when you do compliment a man,
pretty great.
they don't know how to take it. Let's just be real. Because most men are not trained how to take a compliment at all.
I guess luck? That's an awkward question, but thank you.
What's it like being so handsome?
Oh, wow.
Because, by the way, it's not just that you're beautiful, but that we're beautiful together.
That's good.
What's it like being so
That we're all capable of beauty.
What's it like
It's
being
not
so
a physical matter. It comes from inside.
That's a very nice compliment.
And it cannot be replaced with other things.
Don't know how
that
to
no
answer
matter
that.
how pretty you're outside, no matter how much you may
Answer that
have,
question.
the reality comes down
I don't
to
really know.
What's it
that
like
beauty
being so handsome?
is a mirror
I don't know.
that shines the light from our own inside star. That star is our heart.
In my practical
That star is
life,
our
I don't
being.
Go around thinking
That star
really
is the energy of our spirit.
What's it like being so handsome?
Well, thank you. First of all, thank you for the compliment.
And if you get a chance,
I just considered myself to be a normal guy. I don't think
take
I'm
a moment.
But yeah, I'm just a good kind
and
of
tell
human
someone you
being.
love that they're beautiful, or just someone you like. Or if you want to learn to attract great guys, apparently. I think that's what that was kind
Do
of
you
about.
ever feel like you want to contribute to something more
By the way, this is a
meaningful than
fantastic channel.
Perhaps you feel
called The
stuck
You
in a
Effect.
job that doesn't have a higher purpose, or maybe you simply
And
want to
strangely
help
enough,
people
despite the fact that
and
this
make
has
world a better
22,000
place, but
views,
you just don't even
not
know
unlike
anything.
myself,
Now more than ever,
this person
we are
only
seeing
has
these really big acts of
445
humanity,
subscribers.
where people with a
The
massive
You Effect,
platform are making
spelled
some
like this. I'm
huge
gonna put it in
positive
chat.
change to make the world a better place, which, while amazing, can also sometimes
Let's go
make our
support The You
actions
Effect.
seem
Come
less
on.
significant. But is this really the case? Well, today we decided to put this question to the test and see what impact a few average Joes can have by simply writing nice letters to strangers.
Let us begin!
Hey, how's it going? We're here in Melbourne and we are going to be writing some letters to strangers today!
I think I spelled it right.
So there's actual cards and envelopes from my stationery hoarding.
So
There's fun
this is the oldest
Oh, that's so cute.
of the ideas on YouTube, by the way. And I'm so glad to see it coming back.
Imagine if we gave them that.
Utilizing the medium to just bring joy. To just try and reach out to people and show them, oh, hey, buddy, yeah, did you need a scratch? There you go. That they aren't alone, that there's something beautiful about them, as there is for every single one. And more importantly, that people give a damn, more than less.
I'm trying to get in someone's mind to see, like, potentially
Now, you don't have
how
to
they're feeling.
portray
I know
this
the
as
kind of person that needs this.
valor-seeking.
Find that kind of person.
But rather than sometimes the intention, it's just to make people happy. And if we start to see the world as more altruistic, more empathetic, that's amazing, Jelly. It passes around love so much. It makes the world a better place. What does this say? I only wish you the highest strength to get over your challenges you are currently facing. I know you can do it. Love, a strangers. Yeah, you could tell that he needed that. I think we all do. I think most of us don't know when we do.
This for you. Want to give that to you?
This is hard. This is
no, not at all.
as heartwarming as it
You know
gets.
why I'm asking?
No.
Because no one leaves something like this for me. That's what I'm saying. Did I do something wrong?
No, you didn't at all.
Did I swear or...
No, you actually
I have
did
to
the
pause
opposite.
it
I thought,
here because
I
she's
wanted to write
so
you something.
unused to kindness in this fashion. so unused to a stranger coming up out of nowhere and being kind that she thinks something is wrong, that she's done something wrong. She asks multiple times. And this is how unusual this behavior is amongst us. And this is why I challenge us all to change that behavior. To do more than less in this situation.
Nice today.
To challenge ourselves to be kinder.
You fine, sorry. I'm just...
It's okay.
Had a bad day today. Do you want to sit?
Yeah, I can
And I'm sure we've all had one of
He
those.
passed away in 2000.
Oh, did he really?
Cancer. Throat cancer.
Wow.
I'm alright. Just today, it's not been the best day. I was meant to do a lot of things. One,
Your light shines so bright in this world. I, for one, am glad you're here. We all deserve something like that. If you've never received anything like that, you deserve it. And this is my message to you now. Take this as my message. Never forget how beautiful you are. Be kind to yourself. You deserve it. You really do. Smile. You deserve it. You don't know how beautiful you are. Never forget how beautiful you are. You deserve it. If there's any light in this world, it's the fact that we have the ability to share this little magic spark inside of us, inside of that meat sack we use to think and perceive. I know life is tough sometimes, but remember that people care.
Oh my god, I thought I wanted to stop because we honestly had not too much luck when the other guys were here.
Mystery Sky, you're here. This has found you, you found it.
But like, this is so addictive.
This is
like,
where we share
seeing
once a week
people's reaction
these
to,
ideas
like,
and
receiving a
concepts and
letter
remind
taking
ourselves
photos
this
of it is just,
exists.
like,
That this is more
freaking
prevalent than
heartwarming
not.
thing ever.
That maybe it's just time to move into a different world of people.
God.
That maybe it's time to give yourself a better break or a different change, or to look at yourself and say, you are beautiful first, which you are. And welcome on in to the mystery of the flying pig. You are beautiful. Kick off your shoes, have a drink, have some lemonade. Dear stranger, I saw you sitting, and it looks like you're super cute. I don't know what your hurdles are currently, or what you're feeling, but the world will get you to where you are now. I'm sure you've overtaken a lot. Every one of us needs to be reminded of all the challenges we overcome.
Hey, sorry, this is really random, but I wrote this for you. It's really random.
It takes a lot of courage to break out and give a stranger a kind note, by the way. Hey, stranger, I just wanted to let you know that I am so glad you're in the world. Keep being you. You are beautiful. The magic that those words create inside of our brains, inside of our spirit, inside of our neurological patterns, they can change a person's week. This letter basically says, we know you have challenges. We know you can get across them. We know you're a great person. This kind of power, I believe, can change the world, one person at a time. It says you are such a powerhouse. The world
Sometimes we can feel
you.
powerless in our ability to make a positive impact in this world. At least for me personally, I have always felt like I needed to have a load of money or big networks and resources in order to make a difference.
You don't need
when
money.
All I really needed this whole time was a pen and a piece of paper.
All you really
And
need
sometimes
is
you
a
don't
smile
even need that.
and your kindness.
The more we film these sorts of videos,
And the
the more
courage
we've started
to
to
knock on
realize
the door
how
and
the
ask the
biggest
questions
and best
and say
way
hello.
to have an impact on this planet is actually to simply be you. Because when we're ourselves, we come alive. And when we come alive, the whole world comes alive. We unite and celebrate ourselves instead of judging others and ourselves for not being what the world wants us to be.
Separated from the we.
Thank you for watching this episode, and we'll see you in the next one.
Once again,
keep shining your light. The world needs it.
That is a channel called The You Effect, spelled as you hear it, The You Effect. And the link is up there. Please make sure to like and subscribe them. They have 440 some odd subscribers only and 22,000 views. So, and they're still an active channel. That's not an old channel.
Today is the official merch drop, February 11th.
So, what happens?
What's it like being so
Oh, we've seen this. My apologies. This is the one I was trying to go to. Once again, I've had other videos
So recently, I saw this video online of a girl who was recording
women
herself calling
being
people
told
beautiful,
that they're
and I
beautiful
thought,
and mixed
that's a
crowds
nice
being
video.
told that they're
She was
beautiful.
a girl,
I've shared
and
that
she was
one.
calling other girls
But I think it's
beautiful,
important
and
that
other
we
guys
see what
beautiful.
happens
So
when
I thought,
boys
what would
or
happen
young men,
if me, a guy,
in general,
called other guys
tell other
beautiful?
men
And here's what
the
happened.
taboo
Social experiment
that they
gone
think
wrong.
they're beautiful. And we're not talking
Now,
about
for the
anything
project,
to
actually, what we
do
have to
with
do
like
is
attractiveness.
we have to take photos of
We're
things
talking
we
about
find beautiful.
people giving a damn.
So you're beautiful, man.
And thinking something is beautiful.
You have to take photos of things you find beautiful.
Yes.
So you're beautiful, man.
She's there.
The theme behind the photos we're taking is you have to take photos of things you find beautiful. Now, the theme to the assignment is you have to take photos of things you find beautiful. You have to take photos of things you find beautiful. You have to take photos of things you find beautiful. Now, the theme for the assignment we're doing is...
Now, one of the things that is unusual about this is we're always talking to women.
So you're beautiful, man.
But there's more than just one gender for... Sure, and there's more than one kind of person on the planet.
Things you find beautiful.
And I think it's time we start opening up each other to the fact that
Actually,
anybody...
for the photography assignment, we have to
if
take
you're a
photos of
human,
things we
you
find beautiful.
can and most likely are
Oh my god.
beautiful.
Wrong.
If you allow yourself to be.
Okay, now
if you
the theme
reach
for the assignment
to yourself
is you have
and
to take
free that inner
photos of
fine
things you
pit.
find beautiful.
And you see how young men respond to this. They don't even know how to take it because nobody's shared
Yeah,
this
you can see him
language
out
with
the
them.
door.
Nobody's
We have to
made
take
them
photos
comfortable
of
with it. In
things
fact,
we
most
find
people
beautiful.
tend to make them uncomfortable with it. Which I would urge you
We have to take photos of things we find beautiful.
to help change as well. You want to see the world as beautiful?
Okay.
I love his jab there, by the way.
Is that right? Okay,
Include
now, so,
everybody, not just
the
those
purpose of
you find
the
attractive.
assignment we're doing is you have to take photos
Because
of things
not
that you
everybody
find.
attractive is beautiful. Not everybody who's beautiful is attractive. There's a distinct difference. And we're not talking about attractiveness. We're talking about beauty. Inner beauty that shines on through you. That each one of you is. You're here, right? That's the key. You found your way here. You're sitting in the pews, throwing your feet up. Doing whatever, you're cleaning the house, having a drink, popping a smoke, I don't know, yeah, whatever. That's what we're about. The question is, do you see the world around you as beautiful? Or do you challenge the world because you don't see yourself as beautiful? Well, let me challenge you. No matter what someone has told you, no matter what you've told yourself, I'm starting right now. I'm wiping your slate clean. I'm telling you, when you go into the bathroom, when you walk over to the mirror in the front hallway, when you walk over next to your boudoir or whatever, and you look into that mirror at the nightstand, I want you to look at yourself deep in the eye and fall in love. Forget about what you may have messed up. We're always going to have those faults and fallibilities, each and every one of us. But if you give yourself the grace to fall, you'll fall in love with you and see yourself as the truly beautiful creature you are, the lucky animal creature that ended up on a speck Like the Who's in Whoville. I think I said this earlier. Sure I did. Maybe no one can hear us, but we can hear each other. And so that's why I'm screaming out, you, my friends, you're beautiful, you're beautiful, you're beautiful. Sometimes we need to just find our melody. And half the time, most people don't even know how to sing. But to give themselves the chance to blat out an incorrect tune to start with is the grace that it takes to begin the love of self. And that's what I'm talking about, the fall. You can be as goofy as this guy. I mean, I'm pretty goofy. Right? But does it matter if what we're extolling is love for each other? True, Genevieve. Not everyone's beauty is on the outside. We'll never get the opportunity to see any of you in person. I like and love people by the projection of their tones and voices and intention with their actions. 100%, Genevieve. It's what we emanate from the inside that makes the beauty in the world on the outside. And it's whether or not we are willing to share that, what Genevieve was talking about here. My pleasure, Mystery Sky. Yeah, it's true. Intentions in their actions, intentions in their being. What they bring to the table, what you bring to the table, is more important than whether or not somebody sees you as a magazine model. None of that shit matters at the end of the day. What matters is what you experienced while being here. Not what the Joneses had and compared to you, but whether or not you saw the world as beautiful alongside yourself. And welcome on in, Genevieve, by the way. Welcome to the ministry of the Flying Pig. Very different than most others. Non-denominational. It's a Dadaist ministry. Dadaism being the silliness. And I based the entire idea around John Steinbeck's freedom of self. That we all have this magical sense of being. Ooh, Fuzzy Bee is now flying. Wow. Fuzzy Bee has become a different avatar. That's amazing. What is that? Shit. Are you a phoenix or something? That's awesome. By the way, everybody gets a avatar down below. Oh, no, I missed it. I'm sorry. That's Genevieve is a, oh, wow. Damn, that's cool. Right here. That's really cool. You can choose your avatars or get controls over them. By the way, in that thing that just came up on the stream. Anyways, well, let's move on because I think there's more to talk about when we talk about beauty. And a lot of people may feel ugly. And that's a mistake. You're missing. You're looking around. You're avoiding the truth to see something that is easier to see. Because beauty in the self can be a mirage to someone who's not used to seeing it. Especially when you are beautiful at your core. You may work around your own beauty day in and day out just to give others credence where they don't deserve it. And I'm telling you, take back your own beauty. And back to the school of life.
We unexpectedly catch sight of ourselves in a mirror and in an instant are thrown into despair. The odd nose, the unsatisfactory hair, the sickening skin tone, but most of all, the only too familiar, deeply gormless, needy expression.
Needy
At
expression.
such moments, as if every worst fear about us must be true. All our efforts to run away from our monster.
Genevieve, yes, our creator has a magnificent sense of humor. Look in the mirror, laugh at yourself every once in a while, 100%. And I want to share this story. A friend of mine who worked with Bob Marley on one of the very last shows that Bob Marley ever did in the United States, actually. The truck that they were driving all the gear in got stolen from outside the show before they were able to pack it up. And my colleague, who was the stage manager, told me he came in really angry and been friends with Bob for a decade over that time, and several other very famous reggae musicians. But he was his stage manager, Monitor Man, and he came in just angry, and Bob kind of giggled at him and said, "Hey man, go look at yourself in the mirror. And if you can look at yourself in the mirror and you're not laughing by the time you're done, well then come back and grab me and we'll go find these people. But if you start laughing like I'm about to laugh, then just give it up, man. Laugh at yourself and move on. Sometimes the pain and torture is just not worth it. The energy you expend could be spent on bettering you, on making yourself feel better, on making yourself feel loved. Because you are the source of the love around you. You're a lens, and the world reflects you 100% all the time. Together we make up the agreement of the world and how we experience it and how people see us. But most importantly, if we treat others with the love that we wish to receive and we see them as beautiful as we see ourselves, the world compounds in a mathematical exposition, exponentially growing, multiplying, because beauty begets beauty begets beauty. Try the math. I promise you, it works.
Self-failed. A hideous spectre is for our brief time on the planet truly who we are fated to be. Crucially, feeling ugly is entirely independent of what anyone actually looks like. There are beauties running around the world who are sickened by their looks, and grizzled munchkins breezily at ease with themselves. There are always
I love where he says grizzled munchkins who look very happy with themselves. Yeah, I resemble that.
Clever or idiotic.
I'm not a munchkin.
So, what decides the
taller than
matter
most
is
people.
never in the end the judgment of our eyes, but the condition of our souls. It is the inner
I'm
me
taller than the
that
majority
guides
of
our
Japan,
gaze
but
in
shorter
its
than almost
assessment
everybody
of
in
the face
Norway.
in the mirror,
It's very strange.
and that projects the atmosphere of selfishness, sleaziness,
Definitely.
and furtiveness.
By the way, if you've
in
ever been to the
occasional
Netherlands,
features.
why are
Therefore,
urinals so
we don't,
tall there?
when we're sad,
Makes no
ever
sense.
really
Anyway.
need a new set of clothes or a haircut. We require
not everybody's
that
6'5".
naively and grandly
Right?
to be
Cool.
looked at
Yeah.
through
Anyway.
the eyes of love by someone
True.
whose generous assessment can rescue us from the depredations of self-hatred. It's all the more unfortunate that precisely when we feel disgusting, it can be so hard to ask another person for their help.
True.
We hate ourselves too much.
See, this
to
is
dare
another
to
portion
hope-
of it is that's why I talk about giving yourself the grace, because sometimes we may feel really disgusting in ourselves or disgusted with ourselves, or because we made a bunch of mistakes, or we said something we didn't mean to say, or, maybe, look, we're all human. We all F up. It's just how it is. The real question is, do you have the humility to say, well, I'm imperfect, and make connection with that, and then actually bring that to fruition to a point where you can say, okay, I'm beautiful because I gave myself the chance. And then turn to someone else and say, you're beautiful because you gave me the chance. Now that's going to happen a lot of times. You don't just get one or two. Life is long and short, which is even weirder, because you realize the longer you live, the faster things went and do go. That's why each moment, take it like it's a diamond that you're finding. Cherish it. You are the diamond. That's why you are beautiful. I'll say it again. You are beautiful. Give yourself the grace to be.
Anyone else might like us. And we may, in response to kind inquiries, simply attempt to prove
thank you,
our
Genevieve.
dislikable
I
nature
appreciate you too.
through monosyllabic, avoidant grunts. We need, in our distressed state, for someone else to explain our condition to the world, to make the case that we are lost and ashamed, not monstrous or mean. We may need, for a time at least, to let someone else's words do the work for us.
Quite
At the
often,
School of Life, we believe that
this is the
confidence
case.
is a skill we can learn.
Once again, I'm going to bring up the words of the great Ram Dass. If you're not familiar with him, he is a, well, it's hard to explain. He's a guru. But I started
it
here
takes
with
us
this.
a long time, many of us longer than others, to come up out of the darkness of our feelings of unworthiness.
And this is true for each and every
unlovableness,
one of us.
Of allowing that liquidity to happen, of feeling safe to be in the presence of love. When I first experienced my guru loving me, my mind kept flickering with the thoughts of, if he only knew. And then I realized that he did know. And he was still loving me.
And
it took me through...
We should wish for
and
anyone.
however you are at this moment, when you can accept that you are lovable, then the fear...
Hold on. Let me get a little closer up for this one. You are lovable. And there's some people I know out there right now, one particular, who may believe themselves to be unlovable because of the things that they've done to others. At some point, you have to put down your arms, put down your defenses. You have to look at yourself in the mirror and let go of all the behind you, all of the terror, all the things that may trouble you that you then trouble the world with. And once you do that, the world will give you the grace. And for those of the rest of you who live your day without terrorizing others, you're lovable. And if you don't feel like you are, you're becoming lovable. Every day, more so every day. Every moment that you give yourself to find that better version of you. Now, if you choose not to seek that out, that's your option. It doesn't mean that you're not lovable, because somewhere in the center of you, there is a beauty. It's innate in the being of you. It's part of our free will. To be able to choose whether or not to be that, or, something else. Something else being an option outside of loving oneself and others. To each his own, to each their own. But I do hope that you would choose to love yourself and others, to see yourself as a beautiful entity just for the fact that you're breathing today. And let me remind you that we are on a very tiny dot in the middle of nowhere.
From this distant vantage point, the Earth might not seem of any particular interest.
Hello, Angie Brigadale.
But for us, it's different.
Brigandins.
Consider again that dot.
Oh, Brigandin. Hi.
That's
Hi,
home.
Canada. Hi, hello, Sky. How you doing? Good to see you. You are beautiful.
Everyone
you as
you
well,
love,
Angie. You're beautiful.
Everyone you know.
Thank you for being
everyone you ever heard of. Every human being who ever was.
And this is how lucky we
lived out
are.
their lives.
Let me start this
The
over.
aggregate
This is
from this
why
distant
we're
vantage
beautiful.
point,
That's us.
might not seem of any particular interest.
Up there.
But for us,
Somewhere.
it's
up
different.
there. Up there.
Consider again that dot.
True.
That's here. That's home. That's us. On it, everyone you love, everyone you know,
up there,
everyone you ever heard of, every human being who ever was, lived out their lives.
Right there.
The aggregate of our joy and suffering.
Down there.
Thousands of confident
Look at how
religions,
tiny we are.
ideologies, and economic doctrines.
Look at where we are. We're that little dot out there.
Every hero and coward, every creator and destroyer of civilization. Every king and peasant, every young couple in love, every mother and father.
Oh, yes, Genevieve. When someone belittles you, pray that something happens to them that will convince them that being hateful is not a good coping mechanism for their own reflected miseries. Reggie, there's no call-in on Sunday, but hello, and how are you doing? Yes, Reggie, you did drop the N-bomb multiple times. Everyone's beautiful. Good evening, Ian. How you doing? What time is the talent show? Talent show will be on Wednesday. Wednesday will be a 6 o'clock talent show. Monday will be something of, I think I'm going to do UFOs and the Quack panel again. And then Friday will be a relationship dating something, I'm sure. Yeah, I'll figure it out. But yeah, no call in on Sundays. It's just the Ministry of the Flying Pig. Thanks for coming on in. Oh, Reggie, that wasn't you? Who was it? Who was that? Oh, Olive Sky, you're awesome. What's happening? Lita Caproni! That was kind of a motorboat again. Oh, was it random, Ian? Okay, I'll take that. So long as it never happens again. Oh, by the way, Ian, you have. Yeah, there's something on your cheek. I don't know what happened. You left a little something on your cheek. You're okay then. And welcome, guys, to the Ministry of the Flying Pig, where we celebrate being silly. Alito Caprodi, by the way, my co-host, colleague, co-priestess. I'll have to review the footage again. Anyways, where are we and why are we so lucky? Because
being who ever was lived out their lives.
On that little blue dot up
the
there.
aggregate of our joy and suffering. Thousands of confident religions, ideologies, and economic doctrines. Every hunter
on that
and
little
forager,
fucking speck. It's like
every
who's on
hero and
Whoville
coward,
up in that
every
thing.
creator and
That's
destroyer
why
of civilization.
you are special. Even you even. Even you even. Ian, clearly you're special. You're the thinker. Reggie. Yeah, you're special too. We're all on the fucking same blue dot. Everybody knew. Everything that ever happened on that little tiny speck out there, barely getting a flashlight from Saturn. Right? That's a real thing. When we give way to all of the nastiness in life, we're missing the toughest thing, which is to see ourselves as amazing and beautiful and being able to share that in expansive ways. Oh, Reggie, no thoughts on those things on Sunday. Catch up with me during the week. It is a school night. True. They probably have to get to bed early. That's why I run the show. That's why I run the show early. Yeah. Mystery Sky, I love that you're hearing. It's up for us to all hear it, one way or the other. And by the way, welcome on in. I'm glad to add you, Mystery Sky, as part of the mod squad. Thanks for being here. Everybody, for the most part, some people are still earning, and some people are still earning. Earning and learning, but it's okay. The mod squad is basically so that you can play with the trolls as they come in, because we are a very, like, you know, apparently happiness and love, loving ourselves, loving others, seeing the world as magical, seeing it as, well, astonishing, being that that's our little dot out there. That's everything on that little fucking dot out there in the dark. Apparently that's confusing to some. Some always looking for something to be wrong when they just haven't spent any time looking at themselves because they don't have anything better to do. But that's fine. One of the most beautiful things about this is how you can't escape what's here if you're here. It's hard to get it out of your mind afterwards. That's why I'm so glad some of you joined me. Because in truth, you find this because you're looking for it. It's pretty straight ahead. You get one next weekend. You're coming up, Thinker. Don't worry. It'll be a thing. It'll be a thing. Don't worry. I got you. I got you. Reggie, though, I'm side-eyeing you, Reggie. I'm side-eyeing you. By the way. And your stream avatars are all changeable, if y'all didn't know. So if you really want to get funky with it, you literally can change all that shit and like throw bombs and shit. If you really want to get interactive, you can fart, play slots, all kinds of lovely shit. Any case, let's remind ourselves how special we fucking are.
Every king and peasant, every young couple in love, every mother and father, hopeful child, inventor and explorer.
You'll have to convince the rest of the chat.
Morals, every
You're in an armed bar, by the way. I don't know if you knew that, Reggie.
Superstar, every supreme leader.
My pleasure, Mystery
every
Sky.
saint and sinner in the history of our species lived there, on a mote of dust, suspended in a sunbeam.
True. Look at that shit.
The Earth is a very small stage in a vast cosmic arena. Think of the rivers of blood spilled by all those generals and emperors, so that in glory and triumph they could become the momentary masters of a fraction of a dot. Think of the endless cruelties visited by the inhabitants of one corner of this pixel on the scarcely distinguishable inhabitants of some other corner. How frequent their misunderstandings, how eager they are to kill one another, how fervent their hatreds. Our posturings, our imagined self-importance, the delusion that we have some privileged position in the universe, are challenged by this point of pale light. Our planet is a lonely
Bridget
speck
Moulton, what's happening, main
enveloping
mod?
cosmic dark. In our obscurity, in all this vastness, there is no hint that help will come from elsewhere to save us from ourselves. The Earth is the only world known so far to harbor life.
We may be completely
there is
alone.
nowhere else, at
I
least
don't
in the
believe
near
that,
future, to which our species
we have to rely
could
on each
migrate.
other.
Visit? Yes. Settle? Not yet.
Not yet.
Like it or not, for the moment, the Earth is where we make our stand. It has been said that astronomy is a humbling and character-building experience. There is perhaps no better demonstration of the folly of human conceits
welcome, Bridget. Good to see you.
than this distant image of our tiny world.
Because
To
it
me,
is tiny in the
it underscores our responsibility
perspective of the
to
rest
deal
of
more
the
kindly
universe.
with one another and to preserve and cherish the pale blue dot, the only home we've ever known.
the only home we'll ever know, as far as you and I in our lifetimes. Being elsewhere, living elsewhere, that's outside of our range. And this is where I'm going to basically lead off to the end this evening. I've shown this to you before, but I think it's really something important to share because it reminds every single one of you and myself how simple it is to say, how simple it is to do. This is from an artist
Basically,
named
I'm
Martin
making an animated art
Scorsese.
video, and I'm just taking pictures of things I find beautiful. Things that I find beautiful.
Oh, yes. Genevieve says, be open to constructive criticism. Constructive means that we still have the base materials to repair and rebuild. Criticism is the blueprint for which we repair and rebuild so that we can stand strong. That is lovely, and it is absolutely fact. When we open ourselves up to the idea that we're imperfect, and we can always take some input from those who can see us a little more clearly, and take it constructively, and not as an attack, well, we can change the world together, because then we can actually cooperate, commiserate, and occasionally compromise. But as long as we see each other's constructive criticism as an attack on what is nothing less than a reason that somebody wouldn't even say it to you if they didn't give a damn. The whole reason is that someone cares about you. They think you're beautiful, so they're going to tell you that they see you cutting off an edge of that beauty. So yeah, Genevieve, absolutely. I couldn't agree more.
Of course. So I just need you to stand there and exist of things I find beautiful. And I think you're a beautiful person.
I can't get enough of this video in particular.
It's not. Things I find beautiful. You got a great look. You're beautiful.
Because you can tell each one of these people was really feeling what's being said to them. Irish G Talks, hey, what's going on? Hope you're doing well. Irish G, if you didn't know, today's theme is You Are Beautiful.
And so, yeah.
And you are.
I think you got a really good look for you.
You are beautiful, Irish G. If nobody's told you that today, and I'm so glad you could be here. And you're even more beautiful because you joined. Come on in. The stream is fine. Here at the Ministry of the Flying Pig, it's non-denominational. It's all about unity of us, finding a better way, together.
Things I find beautiful. I'll catch you in the face.
What up?
What? You're saying you find me beautiful? Yes, of course. You better wash your ass. You're a beautiful being, and you know it. Shut up. You're a beautiful being, and you know it, Zoe. Alright, are you done then? Do you have what you need? Why are you being like this?
True, Bridget. It's about
Things I find beautiful.
Ian. You do have beautiful components. True.
Of things I find beautiful. Things I find beautiful. So yeah.
And see, Stacey May told you you're beautiful. That's awesome. Thank you, Stacey May. See, I'm a guy. I even have trouble telling another guy they're beautiful. See? Oh, thank you, Stacey May. That's very kind of you.
Beautiful. Things I find beautiful.
Yeah, we're not trained how to do that. Just to say, you're a fucking lovely human being. You're fucking beautiful.
Of course.
You're beautiful. You're here on Earth, and look at how lucky we are to be here. We're a tiny little dot.
Also, things I find beautiful.
She really needed that. And she wasn't feeling that. And by the way, if you don't recognize who that person was, I find it funny that they're in this film. That was one of the Gregory brothers. Thank you, Irish D. Appreciate you. It's just a couple of words. It's just a simple thing to say. It doesn't take a lot to go out of your way. And you never know, you could change a person's week. You could change the way that they see themselves. Give yourself the chance to change the world. One seed, one person at a time. Free yourself from the mental prison that tells you that you need to be cruel. Because cruelty is the game. Love is the answer.
And I'm just taking pictures of things I find beautiful. That is so nice.
It is the hardest part.
Well, it's the truth.
Mystery Sky, thank you for being here. And some don't know how to receive the compliment. True, my grandmother said the best thing, even if you don't like the compliment to say, is just say thank you. It'll settle in later.
They had this
Oops, what
honey.
happened there? So we went to somebody's live. One last time, and this is another one. This is where I'm actually going to leave you.
I'm taking pictures of the most beautiful things I've seen today. Oh. I can't do it. Hold on, wait. Redo. I stumbled upon this YouTube video called People React to Being Called Beautiful by this young wonderful lady called Shay. She conducted an independent project which eventually turned into a social experiment halfway through. Literally all she did was walking around her school asking students and teachers if they'd allow her to take their pictures. Upon
And
their
I would
approval,
urge
she
you,
recorded their reactions while telling
each one
them
of
the
you,
purpose of the project.
Since you've got
I'm taking pictures.
the
of
courage
things I
to be
find
here,
beautiful.
to buck
I
the
love
system
the
that's so
project
easy to
so
fall
much
into the
that I wanted to
negativity,
simulate a new version. A wider and a more
to make this
universal one.
change in your own actions,
So this is
in your own
how
world,
the word
in
reacts
your
to
own
being
life.
called beautiful.
It only takes one motion. It only takes one attempt.
This is a project of me taking pictures of the most beautiful things I've seen today.
Oh, thank you.
But once again, you can change the way a person feels about themselves.
We're taking pictures of things we find beautiful. And, we think
And it doesn't matter where they're from. It doesn't matter what background they have, or what language they speak. You can see the reaction time and again. It has the same result. So I would challenge each of you to make the magic happen in your own life. Find someone who seems to need it.
Es ist echt schön, dich kennengelernt zu haben.
And go ahead and reach outside your comfort zone. Step on outside that little bridge that you often might not cross. Give yourself the constructive criticism and the hope that your motion and movement to tell someone that they are beautiful,
Ay, Dios mío.
to bring someone out of the darkness of their day, that this will spread the energy, that this will take us all further, and that it brings to culmination and synthesis a better way of being on planet Earth. True, Genevieve. We can only extend the hand. We can't expect them to take it, but it's up to us to offer. And even if it's not taken in the moment, maybe that little bit of love will settle in.
ありがとう。全然かっこよくないけど。
Because no matter what, the language is the same. The language of love and beauty is always the same.
Okay. Terima kasih,
It
Case.
translates through any background. It translates through any
Oh,
language.
¿en serio? Oh, bueno, gracias.
And because of this, we are made whole. We are made as one through this love and this beauty. Thank you, Genevieve. I think we all need this. We deserve the beauty that we are. We deserve to recognize it and stop having it tamped down. We deserve to not have to fight for what is us.
Austin, you know why we're here? Because we all think you're a beautiful human being. What did she say?
This is from a channel called Ray's Book Tier. Make sure to like and subscribe. My friends, this is what brings us to the end of the ministry. As I open the doors out of the pulpits and you guys gather your belongings, make sure to grab your purses. Angie Brickenden.
Yeah,
my pleasure. My pleasure. I'm so glad you could be here for it. And, you know, I really appreciate that all of you came in and took your time today to just, you know, hear the sermon on out. Because the sermon was about you being beautiful as you are. And on the way out, once again, this will be the third time, but I can't help but feel like it's the theme that matches. Well, maybe I do have something else. Hold on a second. No, I'm going to go back with this because it really is the theme of the show. So as you head out the door and you head into the rest of your day, know that this is how I feel about you. Being here, sharing with me, and knowing together that the mental prisons could be torn down by letting ourselves be free from those weights and terrors that we give into. You are beautiful. You are. You are. You are. You are. You said, don't go with him tonight. Stay with me, stay the night. Stay with me. Have a great day. I hope you carry this into your week. I hope this makes you feel as beautiful as you are. All you have to be is beautiful, and you are, you are, you are beautiful. You are, you are. You are, you are beautiful. You are, you are. I love each and every one of you from the depths of my soul. And I hope that you love life. And in that life, we have this one measured bit of beauty that is us. We're given that gift. And I hope that you share it repeatedly. And that you find that beauty in yourself. True. Everyone stay beautiful. And thank you. It's beautiful. And you are, you are, you are beautiful. You are, you are beautiful. You are, you are beautiful. You are, you are. You are, you are beautiful. You are, you are. Have a wonderful day, y'all. And don't forget, you're beautiful.